This is how you know I love you all. Because I show up with bedhead and bedbeard, and who cares? Welcome. It is 6:45 on a Monday morning, 29th of November. Probably should do something with my hair, put a hat on or something. Yeah. Eh. Normally I pre-record Mondays and MMRTs. No. Monday Musings. This shows you I haven't even had coffee yet. But I've been so swamped over this weekend that I did not get Monday Musings recorded like I usually do. I didn't pre-record anything. Um, so I'm going to be doing it first thing this morning, and yeah, I have a cup of coffee here with me, and we're going to get going. So why have I been busy? Well, before we do that, we got a whole bunch of new people on the channel. We passed 500 subscribers, which blows my mind. Let me double check this morning. We're at 508 subscribers, which is amazing. Um, it we just kind of did a big boost over the last, basically over the weekend. And for those of you who are new here, welcome to Monday Musings. Monday Musings is the show where I show up and I talk about all the things that are going on in my life with Chris. It's gaming, it's shows, it's books, it's all the things that we do in our lives, everything that I do. Obviously, my channel is mostly dedicated to gaming, but we do a lot of other stuff too. We do, we used to have a travel blog. We ran that for like 10 years, did a lot of presentations around the world. I do marketing for a brand called Hidden Compass, which is a really cool women-led and women-founded magazine by a couple of friends of mine. And then I do a lot of my gaming stuff and personal stuff here on YouTube, and of course the Weave in the Void stuff with my brother and Chris as the Wandering Hermits. But this personal YouTube channel of mine has always been a place for me to just dump. And when it first started, like 3 years ago, I've never promoted it. I've never, done a lot with it. It was just a place for me to come. I started off doing like retro games. I played like um, Portrayal at Krondor, Quest for Glory. I know I did Quest for Glory 3 and 4. I don't know that I ever streamed like Quest for Glory 1 and 2. So I did some old retro games here, and that just spun up into me eventually continuing the Mondays and MMORPG show here, which I haven't done an episode for a couple of weeks, so we might get back to that soon. Anyway, welcome. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Yay, we hit 500, which means I should be getting community posts sometime this week, and I'm going to be taking full advantage of that because we got lots of stuff to share out. Some really cool behind the scenes photos. Like if you haven't seen the photos Chris put out last night on Facebook, she did some really cute photos of the two of us in our costumes from tabletop last night and put it out on her personal Facebook, but it's on mine as well. All right. Why have I been so busy? Why didn't I pre-record like I usually do? Because I usually pre-record on Saturdays or Sundays before these come out on Monday mornings. Everquest 2, man, that has blown up, and just didn't have time. I lie. I did have time. I chose not to because I kind of forgot because I was too busy helping everybody and getting the guild going and just taking advantage of that initial rush, which is really important to make sure that, we get everybody comfortable, everybody going, getting guild events going, having fun, and getting a chance to participate in something that they may never have participated in before. Because unfortunately, what happens in most games like this, if it's an old game, it's really hard for people to find a group who are actively wanting to participate and do something with it. More importantly, it's very difficult for a lot of people to find a group of people who are willingly ready to help them enjoy their first encounter. And I think that that's incredibly important. Um, Obviously, you're still going to have people in a guild like this who are just going to be like, yeah, nostalgia, and they're going to jump on and they're going to power level their way up to, 80 or 100 or 150 or whatever, because that's how they enjoy the game. And kudos to them. I mean, everybody should be able to enjoy a game the way that they want to. But the way that I've always enjoyed games is I treat MMORPGs like a digital version of a tabletop game. So the community aspect, the role playing aspect, the coming together and having fun aspect is the most important part of that for me. So I like to make sure that, at least from my perspective, when I'm logging in, I'm helping other people with their adventure. So especially if they're first timers, because that gives them a chance to have appreciation for it the same way I do, and it gives me a chance to share my passion for that with other people. So as we get going, we're going to be doing guild nights, I think, moving forward on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights from around 7 or 8 p.m. onwards. So we'll be trying to organize events and guild runs and dungeon runs and do heritage quests and the like on those nights with people. And we got quite a few people who have never played EverQuest 2 before who are in the guild, which is pretty amazing. Um, my brother's coming back for another round, but he'll be playing really weird schedule, like Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at like 4:30 a.m. because that's when he has time. And then of course I'll be playing a lot during the mornings. Like I said, 6:45 as I'm recording this. As soon as I wrap this up and get it uploaded to YouTube, I'll be logging in and playing a little bit this morning with coffee um, before I go into my day job. Um, Mondays and Wednesdays I can't play because we already are committed to Star Wars: The Old Republic. My brother and I are doing that with a couple of his friends he's known since grade school, and we haven't streamed those episodes in a few weeks, maybe like 2 weeks. Um, the Monday night episodes, my brother and I were streaming for quite a while. I think we did like 10 episodes um, on Monday nights, so we've been playing for a while now. Um, and I have a Imperial agent, and he has a bounty hunter. And I was spec DPS, but then we started. His friends joined us about 3 weeks ago, and we have been doing flashpoints on Wednesday nights, which are the dungeons for Star Wars: The Old Republic, and that's a lot of fun. But I respect my character to the heal stance because our first flashpoint run was pretty disastrous. It was fun though. So yeah, there's been lots of that going on. EverQuest 2, EverQuest 1. So I think those videos are doing very well. That series is going to continue until I don't know. Who knows? I subbed up for 3 months for an all access pass. I did a whole bunch of EQ2 stuff the last few days. Coming this week, there will be more EverQuest 1 videos, but I'm not actively playing EverQuest 1. Don't have a guild there. Don't plan to spin up a guild there. This winter gaming session is dedicated to this. Now, if you've been around long enough, we've done these winter gaming sessions before, back with the Saga Lucemia gaming community. And the first time we did one, it was 20, 30 people. And then the last time we did one is about 90 people for World of Warcraft Classic. And I think World of Warcraft Classic was after. Yeah, it was. That was the last one we did was World of Warcraft Classic. And that was about 90 people. So we started off with about 30, grew it up to about 90. And we did that for I think 5 winters or 6 winters. Something like that. 5 or 6 years in a row, we did that. Every winter around November, December, we would pick a game, usually nostalgia based, and we would jump in and play. We did Project 1999 twice. We did the EverQuest progression servers a couple of times, EverQuest 2 once, and World of Warcraft Classic. So that would be six that we did for 6 years. And then last year during the pandemic, I don't know that we did anything last year for the 2020 into 2021. Um, we didn't do a winter gaming session. A lot of that was just because what was going on. But this year we're back. We're with a new group now. We have the Weave of the Void community that we're building up, combined with we got some folks from Nathan Napalm's community, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to showing people who've never played the game before my love for it, the opportunities there are for amazing role play, the great music, the great scenes, the great quests, the lore. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to join, there is a video here on my YouTube channel about that a couple days back. So go check that out here on YouTube. It's winter-ish. It is chilly here, which means Chris and I are slowly getting back into the Lord of the Rings Online cooking show. We got some recipes coming up. We're going to be doing a lot more cooking this winter, so stay tuned for that. I feel like I failed on the November Sword and Sorcery buddy read thing. Nathan, excuse me, not Nathan. Liam from Liam's Lyceum tagged me on that, and I was my plan was to read all three of the first trilogy of Conan novels by Robert Jordan, and I only made it through one. And I gotta admit, it's because I didn't really like it. It was an okay read, but it was also just so jarring to me because it wasn't the Robert Jordan that I grew up and loved with The Wheel of Time. And so I read it, and I feel like that was when he was first getting going as a writer, excuse me. And I left a review on this on my channel during November. Um, he took those books for paycheck reasons. I mean, I was establishing himself as a writer. Who wouldn't do it? I would absolutely do something like that. Working within somebody else's world, you're constrained to those, constraints. That sounds stupid. I should pick other vocabulary, but it is what it is. It's early. Um, and when you're working within those constraints, you have to um, do things that you might not otherwise do. And he wrote what I think it was six of those in total, including the novelization for the second Conan movie. So, I got him going as a writer. It established a working relationship with Tor, which served him very well with the Wheel of Time. And overall, it wasn't a bad book in per se, but it also just wasn't. I've read it back in the day. I've read Fafhrd and Grey Mouser. I've read, I love the John Carter of Mars series. I like Sword and Sorcery, Sword and Sandals, Sword and Planet. But there was something about that first Conan novel, which, and I keep coming back to it. I've tried to analyze it over November, and I think it really is just because for me, Robert Jordan was all about the Wheel of Time, and to go back and read that was just like, ew, I didn't really care for it. And there were some scenes in the first book that I didn't really enjoy. I mean, it's borderline a rape scene, um, which I mentioned in the review that I did of that first book. So it was just, I tried twice, two serious attempts and like three not so serious attempts to get into the next book, which I think was Conan the Conqueror, maybe. Um, and I just couldn't do it. So unfortunately, I feel like I failed on that because I only did one book instead of three that I wanted to. I did read the first Thrawn novel during November. I haven't done any reading for about 2 weeks now because Chris got back. We had to do all the tabletop prep to get ready for what we did last night. Had to get caught up on Wheel of Time. I mean, there was just so much stuff that I had because Chris was gone for like 5 weeks, so her coming home has been the last couple of weeks of us just kind of getting up to speed with everything. Um, I think I'm just going to roll right now into the second Thrawn book this week. So maybe I'll have a review for that up. Probably not. I mean, might be this weekend, but it'll probably be next week. But I'm gonna chew through that next. On the Wheel of Time front, we finally watched the fourth episode of Wheel of Time um, Saturday night. I have thoughts. I'll probably do an overview of that episode because the first video I did over the first three episodes was pretty well received by my community, so I'll probably do another one. The short version here is that I enjoyed the fourth episode way more than I did the first three. There was some really cool stuff that happened in episode four. Still not exactly true to the book, but I feel like they captured the essence of a lot of stuff that was going on. We get a very brief glimpse into the relationship between the Warders and the Aes Sedai and the way that they feel about them. When they sit around the campfire with Nynaeve and she's asking them, and they talk about how the Aes Sedai, do you know what it means in the old tongue, and protectors of the world, or protectors of all. I forget what it was. But then they talk about how she's like, well, how does that make you feel? And he's like, honored. We feel honored to serve, because to them it's like the most noblest calling that you can have is to serve the Aes Sedai as they serve the world. Unfortunately, as we all know from the books, spoiler alert, the Aes Sedai have become corrupted from within because of years of power. It's the same story of the Jedi Order, blind to the Sith because they just become corrupt by power because they were just at the top for so many years. So, yeah. Um, what's up next? I'm trying to think here. Oh, so Chris has been working really hard on artwork for getting caught up with the chapter art for Weave and Void for the novel. So she did the last week. She wrapped up the chapter 7 artwork, and she started the chapter art for chapter 8. I think she started that on Friday, but didn't really get any work done Saturday or Sunday because she was cleaning house and doing prep for Fantasy Grounds, um, for just to make sure that she understood um, tabletop, and the more than anything else understood the um, Fantasy Grounds platform. So she didn't get a lot of work done over the weekend on Chapter 8, but she's rolling back into Chapter 8 today, and it'll probably be wrapped up by the middle of the week, towards the end of the week. So expect to see Chapter 8 sometime this week, which means I will probably I'm gonna wait and see, because if she holds to this schedule and she does like one a week, um, she'll have one this week, one next week, and then she'll finish up chapter 8. Excuse me, she'll finish chapter 10. Sorry, chapter 8 would be this week. We'll see. She might get enough done that I can actually get chapters 11 and 12 done for December, but it would be like over the Christmas holiday. Like if we do it, we might publish on like the 23rd and the 30th. I've got like Chris changed. I feel like we have a feather bedspread, and I I feel like I pulled like feather. We call them pelusas in Spanish, but like little fluffies out of my mouth this morning. Protein. Um, Weave and Void stuff. Anything else on Weave and Void front? I've just been doing lots of social media now that we've got the social media going, and um, I've done a little bit of dabbling in part 5 for the tabletop, for the module Escape from Parthana. Um, but most I've been working with my brother because he's been producing the Dev Diary videos. So the second Dev Diary video came out last week. We got the third one coming out this week. Um, and so I've been busy, getting those, cutting clips from those, getting that all the stuff on social media, getting those up on YouTube for everybody. And this past weekend, we'll kind of get back to normal this week, but this past few days since Thanksgiving have been crazy because the EverQuest 2 thing just blew up unexpectedly. So I've been just, up to my neck, just kind of managing that and making sure the guild got off the ground and getting everybody in Discord, reorganizing the Discord, working out with people that get to get going forward. So we got a lot of work on that front, but I think most of it's done. So we're good to go moving forward. Um, what else can we talk about? Um, I'm not doing a 45-minute episode this morning or 50-minute episode like we did a couple weeks back. This will be a quickie, because I'm only about, 20 minutes in? 18. Yeah, we'll wrap up soon. Excuse me. Oh, the maps. My brother got the maps delivered. Those came on Friday or Saturday. If you haven't seen the maps, those are in the general update section on the Weave in the Void in Discord. Those are the ones we ordered for ourselves. Obviously, mine's not here yet. We don't have anything hanging up in the background here. Um, those are going to be getting shipped. If not this week, it'll be next week. So what he's doing is we've got the 120-ish miniatures that he's shipping down here, along with that version of the map for me. And then we're going to be doing an Etsy store for Weave and Void in the new year. One of the things we're adding to the Etsy store, along with Christina's signed sketches and some of her paintings and the hand painted miniatures that we're going to be starting to work on, we're going to be printing up. We're not going to be doing the big wall tapestry versions. We might do one or two of them, but we are going to do a bunch of the traditional, like, make sure I get in the frame here. The traditional like 3 foot by 2 foot maps, cloth maps. So we're going to be doing those, and we're going to sell those to the Etsy store for collectors who want those, of the Weave in the Void maps. So stay tuned for that because that'll be coming down the pipeline. That's all going to be New Year's stuff. But the map, the proof of the first map is in. We're pretty happy with the results. And we're going to be getting those. We'll probably produce for the start. We'll probably do 10 of them. We'll probably produce 10 of those, get those sold, and as long as we sell all of the first batch, we'll do a second run. Um, and sell those as well. But we're not going to do a mass-produced run. We're not going to print, 100 maps because we don't have a huge community yet. Weave and Void is still pretty small in terms of community, and we're just now we just started doing everything in the beginning of November. We launched the websites and social media channels. All that finally came out in early November after having worked on under the Project Ramen code name for 7-8 months. So, and now that we're doing the D&D stuff, we're just now starting to do publicity and everything else. So as that community grows, we may do more of those. But in the meantime, we're going to start small um, and go from there. So I think that's kind of where we're at. Post Thanksgiving, EverQuest 2, Wheel of Time's going to be reading more Thrawn stuff. Um, Potentially working on chapters 11 and 12 for the end of December as we get going on that. Emails coming up. We got to do Liam's Lyceum video in the Palace of Shadow and Joy, which I'm going to have to go watch his video this morning. If you're not following his channel, you should. If you like books, I would love to buddy read with you again, Liam. I feel really bad for November, but I feel like also December is just not going to be good for me. It's really hard for me to carve out time to read because of all the things that I've committed myself to, but we'll see if I get to a point, maybe in the new year, we'll see. I don't feel like things are going to slow down anytime soon. Some of it's by choice though. All of the gaming that I do, I don't have to do that. But I also, that's been what's worked best for this YouTube channel is gaming videos. I could rebrand it and do it, make this a booktube, but that takes a lot of work because I've already kind of established over the past few years that this is a place where I hang out, do videos, I do cooking videos and other stuff. So, oh, I know another update I forgot to update people on because I said last week that Chris and I were bringing Marginal Boundaries back at least on a hobby basis. Um, and we're going to start doing traveling throughout Mexico, and we're going to be doing day trips to places because we got the drone and all of our photography equipment that's just been sitting here collecting dust since 2017 when we did our last contract in Ireland. So I guess that's not true. We did go to Spain, Paris, excuse me, not Spain. We went to France with Hidden Compass in 2019, right before the pandemic, and we did that workshop with them, and I did all the photography and videography for the workshop. Anyway, but since the end of 2019, we haven't done anything with it. And we were thinking we were going to go somewhere for the holidays. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen, and there's a reason for that. But we are going to do a trip on my birthday weekend, which is January. So mid-January, we're going to go do a 3-day trip somewhere. We have three places that we're looking at, and we're just going to narrow that down here and see what hotels are available in which place. I don't want to do Airbnb right now. Traditionally, I've always done Airbnbs. We love Airbnb. Um, but because of the nature of the way we're doing these trips, they're very quick in and out. So it's not an immersion trip where we're going and like immersing ourselves there for a few weeks, which I love Airbnb for because you get an apartment and just, have your own kitchen and you just can hunker down and do what you're gonna do. But these are day trips, so we're literally just gonna be going in and you just need a place to crash. Like you don't need an apartment, you don't need a place to cook or anything like that because part of what you're creating content for is around the restaurants that you go to because that's content. So that's Instagram photos, that's TikTok videos, YouTube videos, snippets, so on and so forth. Um, we couldn't find anything for the holidays, and some of that is on us because we didn't anticipate going anywhere for the holidays. It was something where Chris came back um, from her family, and if you've watched last week's episode, you know that we took care of something very important to us related to life here, and sort of, she was gone that whole for like 5 weeks, and that was our wedding anniversary and her birthday and all this other stuff. So when she came back, we were talking, and she was the one who suggested. She's like, "We should go. You haven't had a vacation, and I haven't. I haven't had a vacation since our honeymoon, which was 2013. So she was like, we should take a vacation this year, and I was like, I like the sound of that. Let's go do something for the holidays. But because we didn't think about it beforehand, trying to book something over that Christmas to New Year holiday a month beforehand, impossible. There's nothing available. And in terms of bookings, and the places that do have space, the way, if you've never worked in the hotel industry or the tourism industry, most places take advantage of holiday seasons like this, and they will triple or quadruple the rates. So to give you an example of this, one of the hotels we found in Guanajuato, which was a place we were thinking about going, and then the other was San Miguel de Allende, and of course Puebla and Querétaro here in Mexico. One of the places, and I'm gonna do the math on this because I gotta pull it up and show you because I can't do it in my head. Um, it was for the nights that we looked at, like a normal season, we'd be looking at like $450 for, like a 4 night stay if we did 4 nights. So we were looking at doing a 4 night trip. So we're thinking 4 nights, and it was 100, 450 bucks. So 100 plus dollars a night for a place that has breakfast included. Decent little 4-star places here in Mexico and in these colonial towns, and they're very beautiful and they're nice places. Um, and that's a little on the expensive side for Mexico, but it's like they're nice places and they're in the heart of these little pueblos, so they're right downtown. Great view of the square, of the parks and everything else. You get a little balcony that you can go out onto, so it's great for photography and early morning photography and late night photography over the city center and cathedrals and things of that nature. So normal pricing for 4 nights would be 450 bucks, and then we found one place I had to just laugh because it went from $450 to um, $1,500. So they had a you know multiple time price range increase just because we were wanting to book something between Christmas to New Year's. And that's ridiculous. And so we looked at that and said, yeah, fuck that. We'll go in January. We'll do our first trip in January. So we're going to be booking those perhaps this week. We're not as pressed for time to book something because that's mid-January and that's not high season. Because once you've gotten past the New Year's rush, you've got until Easter before there's another rush. So it'll be low season. The hotels won't have a lot of bookings. So we're gonna be investigating where we want to go over the next week or two and then getting that booked. So stay tuned for that. However, in the meantime, we are doing photography and stuff here in Mexico City. We've been going out and doing some photography. So you want to check that out. You can follow the Marginal Boundaries stuff. Um, I don't have links down below, but you can just look it up. We put some new photos up on Instagram, some new clips up on Facebook. We haven't done any videos for YouTube in a while. We may be doing a video. I think we said we were going to do it today. We'll see how that pans out. But there's a festival. It's La Festival de las Flores de Nochebuena, which is a flower festival. There's a special flower called Nochebuena, which is a red flower that's seasonal. Um, and it's right outside our front door on Avenida Reforma here in downtown Mexico City. So we went and walked it yesterday. Not yesterday, Saturday. Saturday was the first day of the festival, and a lot of the vendors were just getting set up. Most of it's just flowers, but they do have a lot of arts and crafts vendors. So we're gonna go shoot some photography and do some video today or tomorrow. We didn't want to do it over the weekend because there was just too many people, and with COVID and flu season and everything else, even though we're double vaxxed, it's better not to risk it because we have the luxury of not having to only have Sunday as a day we can go because we can go Monday or Tuesday. So anyway, stay tuned for all that. Now we're approaching 30 minutes. I feel like that's enough because I don't want to turn this into a 50-minute episode. And as you can tell, I'm awake now. I'm like talking fast and my coffee's working. Um, or at least the plethora effect is working because I think caffeine takes about 45 minutes. Anyway, whatever. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Don't forget, check out all the other stuff here on YouTube. Subscribe, bell icon. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining. Stick around. Community feature should be coming this week to YouTube. Can't wait for that. Um, I'll see everybody in the other places that we do things. And of course, next week we'll have a new Monday Musings episode up for you. Stay safe. I'm going to go maybe comb my hair. I'm lying. I'll just put on a hat for the day. See ya.